I'd like to give you an introduction to this module. So we're going to learn about basically Bootstrap 4 and just get a general introduction into how Bootstrap works through our Hello World program that we're going to create. So this module, what we're going to cover to start off with is what's new in Bootstrap 4. So there are a number of changes. They're pretty exciting changes that we're going to see. Some good changes with the grids, the fonts, and a lot of other things. So we're going to go into detail of what those are. We're going to look at the code editor that we're going to use. It's free. It's cross-platform as well. Also really popular and easy to use. Then we're going to get into initializing a new Bootstrap 4 project. Now, different people have their own ways of doing it, and basically this is the way it goes. You can work with the CDNs, which means you're always going to be dependent on an internet connection, or you can bring it in locally. That's kind of the two main paths. We're going to bring it in locally. We'll look at how to do it with the CDNs, but we want to have it local as well so that we can have everything contained in our local environment and not have to depend on the internet, because this allows you then to work without an internet connection, of course. So we'll see how to get that going. And then there's a specific way we're going to set it up, just in the way of how folders are laid out inside of the project. And also we're going to use a tool to help us with our Sass pre-processing and the running of different tasks. So we're going to have a task runner, and we're going to see how that's going to help us move files around and keep things organized as well. Then we're going to do a quick Sass introduction. So if you're not familiar with Sass, this is going to be a good time to see what it is, why we would want to use it, and it's not kind of a tour de force of everything about Sass. It's just enough to understand, okay, this is this component Sass and why we're wanting to use it inside of Bootstrap 4. In fact, Bootstrap has moved from Less to Sass, so if you're familiar with Less, that's kind of gone away. And we're going to see how our task runner is going to help us with pre-compilation of Sass as well. So speaking of task runners, we have Gulp. Gulp is going to do a few things for us. It's going to do the pre-compilation from Sass to CSS. So we're no longer writing in CSS files. We're just writing in Sass files. And even if you want to write just straight CSS, you could do it, but you need to do it in a Sass file, because the CSS file will get overwritten when we run the Gulp task. So Gulp's going to do a few different things. It's going to move JavaScript files from the Bootstrap distribution folder into our project. It's going to move CSS files around. It's going to do the compilation for Sass. And it's also going to launch our web browser. So it's going to run all those tasks when we type in Gulp and then launch our web browser for us. So that's going to be part of our workflow, and it's going to be fairly streamlined. So once we have all that going, we have our project layout done. We're going to then create a simple hello world, and we're going to see how that works with all of this now in place. So the project folder structures are laid out, the files are there, and we have Gulp fully integrated. We're going to see how everything works from that point on. Then that's going to be our template as we create and move into these different projects that we're going to be building.